In my previous video, you learnt about remainder theorem. And in this video, you will learn about the factor theorem. Right? So what is this factor theorem is? If I write in words, right, it says if fx is a polynomial, right, and first one, if fp equals 0. What do you mean by this? This means when x equal p, if your y is equal to 0, right, then we say x minus p is a factor of fx, right? And then in the second one, right, if x minus p is a factor of fx, then fp is equal to 0. So there are two ways of asking the question. First one is, they say that if fp is equal to 0, show that x minus p is a factor of fx. Or else, show that x minus p is a factor of fx. Right? So this is how you must show them. If x minus p is a factor of fx, then you have to say that when x equal p, that fp is equal to 0. Right? So how do you do this? So there are, now first you learned using the algebraic division, and now we are going to use that using the factor theorem. Think, I'll take this example. X squared minus 4x minus 4, right? Okay, we'll put here x cube, right? Show that this is a factor of x minus 2, right? So how do you show that? So consider this, if x minus p is a factor of fx, then fp is equal to 0. That means here f2 should equal to 0, right? So this is fx. Then f2 will be equal to 2 to the power 3 plus 2 to the power 2 minus 4 into 2 minus 4. So this is 8 plus 4 minus 8 minus 4. So 8 and 8 cancel, 4 and 4 cancel, so answer is 0. Right? So you can see that here f2, so x minus 2 is a factor since this is 0. Right? So that you can write, so x minus 2 is a factor of x cubed plus x squared minus 4x minus 4. Right? So this is one way of doing the sum. So you can find the factor using this method, or you can use the lone division and find the factors, or you can do the factorization and dividing. Right? So these are the ways of make any sum, but what you must remember in the factor theorem, we can find whether it is a factor or not. We are not going to divide it and see what is the remainder in it. Okay? So I hope you understood what is this simply the factor theorem is, right? So it is not difficult, there is nothing to do, you just have to substitute these values, right, and do it. But what you must remember here is, if it is x minus 2 is the factor, we will consider x minus 2 equals 0, therefore x equal 2. Right? So that's why here it is 2. So now if x plus 2 is a factor, right, then this should be f minus 2. Why? Then x plus 2 is the factor, then x equal minus 2. Okay, so those things you must remember, right? So if the factor here, if this is plus, then you have to substitute here the negative term. If I explain it in mathematics term, right? So I said x minus 2 is a factor now. So x minus 2 times something here, right? Think it is something ax plus b. This will be equal to 0 if this is a factor, right? If this is a factor, this into this will give you 0. That's why I substitute either this or this should equal to 0. That's why I substitute x minus 2 equal 0 here, if this is a factor, right? But don't think much. What you must remember here is, if it is a factor, right, make that factor equal to 0. And what is the value of x, and substitute that here and get the answer. So if it is a 0, then it is a factor of fx. Okay, so that's all about the factor theorem. So thank you so much, and please subscribe on my channel.